Did you know that the most incredible flex to have of all time is to be pro-life? Yes, you heard me. Pro-life. Or maybe better stated, pro-innocent life. Let's talk about it. Being pro-life is really so simple that anyone can understand it practically, even children, I am sure. Because when you look at it like this, when you have the biological facts, when you have objective truth, when you can understand how and when life begins, it's a no-brainer. It's here, it's right in front of our very eyes. And the fact that here in 2024 we are still arguing and debating, and it's still legal to have abortions in several states, the only reason why we are still stuck in this realm of evil that abortions should still be taking place is because of the lies that countless people tell themselves and listen to. But just in case anyone needs a refresher, I would be glad to share that with you on when life begins and kind of a little bit of the process of pregnancy. So when you have sperm and an egg that is fertilized and implants into the uterus of a woman, then you have all the stages in development from day one all the way up until that baby is born. So you have the first trimester, the second trimester, and the third trimester. I remember when I was pregnant with my dear son Maverick and going through all the different experiences and feelings and emotions and the huge sacrifice it is. I hope that we all understand that yes, it is such a sacrifice. It takes such a toll on our women's bodies. But that's how life is brought about into this world. That's what it takes. And I wish so many more people could look at it as, yes, it is harder than hard to create life and to carry it for usually 9 months, because I know some babies are born prematurely and there's other complications and factors and circumstances, but a general 9-month pregnancy, yes, I've been there. I've been in those shoes. I understand what it's like. Obviously, other women have had it harder than me. But when you look at what life is and how it's this human being from day one, from that moment of conception, there's so much when it comes into this debate, this topic, that I wish it wasn't, but unfortunately it still is. And I know there's so many different phrases and terms and explanations being used, and I feel like everyone is so caught up in like devaluing this human being in its early developmental stages. So if we could get back to the basics, it all would just be, it just wouldn't be so complicated, because it really isn't, but everyone loves to complicate it. You will always hear me saying an unborn baby. You will rarely hear me say a fetus, an embryo, a zygote, all those, different terms, which yes, those are the names for an unborn baby, for a person that is growing and developing inside a mother's uterus. But because we have gotten so far removed from valuing human life, where it is supposed to be the most protected, the most sacred, most beautiful place on earth, but it is the most dangerous, I like to use an unborn baby, a person. Because when you say all these other terms, we have lost what being a human is. And therefore, it is so easy to tell lies to ourselves, to be deceived, and to brush it off as, oh, it's just a clump of cells, it's just a fetus, it's just an embryo, it's just a zygote, it's just a this or a that. Because if you give it its person name, then that breaks all these other walls down here. Like, wait a minute, why would I want to kill my child? Because that is what abortion is. It is killing an unborn human being. And I get that there are so many reasons, but we cannot let all the circumstances in life punish an innocent child within a mother's uterus. That child does not deserve death because of a rapist, because of the incest, because of poverty, because of mental illnesses, because of this or that or this or that. There's a million reasons why women go through abortions. I get that. But that is why we have pregnancy centers that I used to volunteer and work at years ago, and I would love to get involved and help again, that actually provide throughout an entire pregnancy and after. I have one of those videos pinned in my Protecting Unborn Babies. So there is help, there are resources, and another thing that I hear so much in these arguments is that it's better to kill a baby than for it to possibly be abused or to grow up in so many unfortunate circumstances. But let's use that same logic towards a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old. Is it better to kill them because they have an abusive dad or an abusive mom? You'd be like, oh my gosh, like what is wrong with you? It's the same logic. The only difference is development and age. So you guys, your logic isn't logicking here. Let's keep it all as it should be. Let's keep all the sensing and all the logicking, and let's stay consistent. The only time that I would ever support an abortion is if the mother is literally going to die. But even then, have we exhausted every other possible scenario to save that baby? You know what I mean? But that is the only time. I do not support abortion for incest. I do not support abortion for rape. For any other reason, it is not justified to murder an innocent unborn person, a child, a baby, in its early developmental stages of life. For any reason, it's not. We must protect unborn babies at all costs, okay? And there is so much that we need to do for reform, for education, but what society loves to do is wait until it's too late and then deal with the aftermath, with the consequences. They're not willing to take that responsibility and to take the measures necessary so they don't have to get to, this point here where, oh my goodness, like I'm pregnant, I wasn't wanting to be, and I'm not ready, or all these things. Like, we need to take more initiative so that these things don't happen. When they do, killing an unborn baby is not the answer. Yes, we need to reform our foster care system. I think there's better reform that needs to be happening in the adoption agencies as well. But let's exhaust every other resource, every other option. There's so many things that we need to do because we are in such a chaotic, problematic disaster of everything. And let's focus on punishing these perpetrators. Why is everyone all about punishing the unborn baby? Can you answer that for me? No one ever thinks about the unborn children. It's only about the woman. Yes, there is so much grief and so much trauma and so much heartache, but 2 wrongs never make a right, okay? So please think about the baby, okay? And think about you, and you don't want those regrets of, down the road, like you killed your child. That is one of the most gravest tragedies of all time. I love my son so much, and I cannot imagine life without him. He is such a blessing. He is such a joy. He is such a gift. And it's hard being a mama. And it was hard being pregnant, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. So you guys, please join me in finding all the answers so that we can give those rights to our unborn children that deserve the right to life like we do. I'm very pro-life, very pro-innocent life, and I hope you are too. Thank you.